Hi everybody, this is Coach Allison, and we're back for week 21 for Defy Aging, and I hope everybody enjoyed their mobility week last week, and you feel refreshed and ready to start back to our more normal routine for the next 10 weeks until we get to week 30 for mobility once again. So this week we're going to kind of split the routine into two different sections. The section that is first is going to be an in your own space routine. What we're going to do is time that for a total of 7 minutes, and you're just going to get through that routine as many times as you can. There's 2 exercises. Get through the exercises as many times as you can in that 7 minutes at your own pace. So that'll be kind of an in your own space, at your own pace, solo type of routine. Then after that, we're going to move on to stations on the turf, rotating around kind of our more normal circuits, and that'll be for 3 rounds of 30 seconds on, 25 seconds off. So just a little more work time than the rest time. And that's how this is going to work for this week. All right, we have a total of, I think, what is it? 8 exercises to demonstrate. So let's get to some demonstrations. All right, exercise 1. Now this is for the first part that's in your own space at your own pace. So what you're going to do for this whole first part of the routine, the one that's timed for 7 minutes, is there's a single leg deadlift that's 6 reps on each side, and then there is jump squats, which is a total of 10. So you just do those 2 things back to back, continually for 7 minutes. Okay, so let's go through what those 2 things look like. The single leg deadlift is really challenging, and that's why I like to put it in kind of an at your own pace type of thing, as opposed to in a circuit where the interval is timed, because you can stumble, it can be challenging to kind of figure it out, and if you feel like you're confined to a 30 or 40 second set, you might not get a lot of reps out of it. So this is going to be 6 reps. It's contralateral, so you hold one weight and then you balance on the opposite leg. So the weight in one hand, the work on the other leg. That confuses some people, so if you prefer to think of it as the side with the weight is the leg that's lifting back, if that helps you, if that's an easier way for you to think of it, that's fine. So the side with the weight, that leg is going back. Okay. You can put your free hand on a wall or a rack to help you balance here, because it is a ton of balance, and we don't want to be worried about the balance. We want to be worried about the work. So if you find yourself stumbling or tipping or falling too much, go near a wall or a rack. Okay, so we know, if we had a kettlebell or something here and we were doing our regular deadlift, this hinging body position, that is exactly what we're doing now. It's just going to look very different because we are on one leg. Still have that. I should probably show you the side that's doing the work. You still have a flat back. You're still hinging at your hip, soft bend in your knee, and I'm keeping my shoulders down and back. Other arm can just, again, if you were holding something for balance, that's fine. And I tipped over because it's hard to look sideways when you're doing this. So I'm going to look straight ahead. Slow and steady. You only have to go as low with this weight as about like mid-shin. So you're not trying to get all the way to the floor. That's actually what you don't want to do. Come all the way up between each rep. Okay, all the way up. You can touch that toe down between each rep to kind of find your balance and reset yourself between each rep. It is important that the leg that's going back, it is important that it's going up and back, as opposed to just kind of holding it kind of like this. Because if it does something like this, it's too tempting to kind of round your back and curve like this, which is not good proper deadlift form. So when you do keep the leg straight and allow it to go back, it helps you to flatten out that back. So watch the difference when I let this leg go back, stretch it out. See how it's helping me kind of flatten my back, as opposed to if I had it kind of tucked in. See how that rounded my back? So do let that leg travel way back and up. So you do 6 on one side, switch the weight to the other hand, switch the leg, 6 on the other side. Okay? And then after that, we go into 10 jump squats. These will go pretty quick. Normal squat, and then you get a little bit of air between each rep. Doesn't have to be high. Just try to get a little air between your feet and the floor, but do make them continual. So you're not doing one jump, stopping, going down, one jump, stopping. So what I mean by that is it's not like this, stop, down, this, stop, down. It's continual. It's smooth. That's going to be much more friendly on your knees, on your joints. It's cushioning the landing. It's also going to be more effective because it's going to keep the contraction coming on those thighs. If impact is not an option for you, it will be a fast squat. So you don't leave the floor, but you add some speed, and that will get the cardio that we want out of that. So, and then you would finish those, take a few 30 seconds or whatever to catch your breath, get a quick sip of water, go back to the single leg deadlifts, 6 on each side. You just repeat that little circuit back to back for the 7 minutes. Okay, next up, we have a seated side-to-side slam with the battle ropes. This one, excuse me, we haven't done for quite a long time. I forgot about it. It's a lot of core and then arms and shoulders and the cardio. So you're going to sit, legs are straight out. This eye position is already kind of challenging for some of us. You want to be seated, pretty scooted, pretty far down the rope. As you can see, the end of the rope is starting kind of at my upper thigh. Okay, so you don't want to be way here with the rope like almost at the knees or the shins. So it's pretty high up by the end of the rope again. It's starting pretty high up on my thigh. We're going to flip the ends of the rope like this. You want to be holding them like an upward fist. So we're not holding them like you would normally hold them like this when you were standing. Okay, because we're doing slams. So watch me change this grip like this. Very important. And it helps to hold at the base of that handle. All right, we slam it on one side, up and over, slam it on the other side. Take a pause between each rep. And I do want you to slam it. So we're not just kind of letting it, we're not letting it just fall. We are slamming. Okay? The goal here is to try to stay as still as possible. So if your legs are moving all over the place, try to keep them as still as you can. That makes your core have to work harder. And there we go. Anyone staying off the floor, you really do the same thing. You're standing. That's the only difference. You need a lot of slack. I gotta move this or it's gonna run into my camera. You need a lot of slack on the rope. Stand nice and wide. You lift, slam to one side, lift, slam to the other side. But again, you are slamming it. You're not just lifting and letting it fall. You are slamming it. I can't say that enough. And holding it with that upward fist position is half the way we're going to get this slam. So if someone's kind of new, kind of different, give it a try. All right, then we have an oldie but a goodie with the TRX row. We're just going to do a standard row. Palms are neutral, meaning that means palms are turned inwards. Okay, and I think many of our longtime people are pretty familiar with the TRX in that where you stand is what changes the intensity level or the difficulty level. So if I stand more upright, that means I'm not leaning back all that much. So this is not too difficult. If I step down farther, now my body is leaning way farther down. This is going to make it more challenging. And it's the farther down you step, the harder this gets because you're just pulling against gravity more. Now I'm lower, so I'm pulling. It's just more weight, more working against gravity more. A couple things to keep in mind when you pull up, stop. When you're here and there is still a lot of 100% full tension on the TRX. What I mean by that is we're not flinging up and letting these go loose. So it wouldn't look like this every time. Okay, so that's one thing. Go slow and controlled. Stop at the top when there's still tension. Another thing, when you're coming back, keep your body in this perfectly straight line. Don't let your hips sink back and don't arch the back and thrust your hips forward at the top. So we're not doing anything like this. We're just keeping the body nice and straight. Okay? And last but not least, when you pull up, same as any row, when we do a dumbbell row, a band row, you are trying to squeeze these shoulder blades together at the top of each rep. Shoulders stay down so it's not shrugging. Believe it or not, a back row is not an arm exercise. Your arms are the levers. Your arms are what are needing to do the movement. So they're going to feel it, but it's a back exercise. So you want to be making sure that you are contracting and using those back muscles, okay? So it's not just doing this. It's this and squeezing those shoulder blades together. Very important. So let's get some TRX this week. Next one is a stability ball chest press. If we've done this, it's been very few and far between. if we've done it at all. So this might be new for everybody. And it is a little tricksy. So the chest press itself we do all the time, but to do it with the stability ball is a little tricksy. So because getting in and out of it. If you have a few people in your group, your coach might be able to hand you your weights. If not, it's just a little tricksy. So I'll show you. The best way I think to get started in it is to sit on the ball first. Then grab your weights. Then you crawl out. I'm kind of out of frame here. Didn't know where to put the camera, but good enough. Until your head, well, that's too much. You want your head and your upper back on the ball. That's very important. All right, try this again. To see, your butt's going to be off of it, but you want your head and your upper back. So if you're right here, see how my head's out of the ball, it's really going to tire out my neck. So you don't want your head falling back like this. So I'm going to go farther. Your head should be comfortably on the ball like it's on a bench or the floor. Now you have to engage your glutes and your legs so you don't let your hips fall down like this. So I'm going to squeeze my glutes and my legs to get my hips up. From here, we do a normal chest press that you would do on the floor. But we're having to do a lot more extra work here because we are stabilizing with our legs. We're stabilizing with our core muscles, our abs. Okay, when you're done, you can do a couple of things. You can push all the way back up into a seated position, or you can put the weights down and just kind of sit down on the floor. There's a couple ways to get in and out of that. All right, so this will be new challenge for a lot of us. If that's not an option for anybody, because it is quite unstable, so it's a lot of core requirements. We can always take the standard incline bench that a lot of us use anyways for a chest press and do that. We can also use the floor. The floor is always there for us. So this is definitely, it would be considered a progression, a harder than average way to do a chest press. So we could try it if you're up for it. I'm going to put it in the routine this week. I suggest everyone give it a shot, at least, right? And yes, stability ball, chest press. Right, then next we have barbell overhead press. We almost always, dumbbells for this. Sometimes we use a medicine ball. I'm going to go with barbells this week. So I think I'm not sure what every gym has, but there's these foam coated kind of body bars. And other than that, some of the gyms have the pre-weighted bars, but I believe those only go down to 20 at the lightest. There might be some other bars I don't know about. So hopefully this works. If not, we'll go back to dumbbells, totally fine. But barbells just offer a slightly different feel. That's all. Variety is good. Palms forward and overhead press. So the tricky thing with this though is your head is in the way, right? So you do want to bring it down right under your chin. Then as you press up, you have to kind of go around your head. But we do want to end with it right above the head again. We don't want to do a press way out here. That's never, because then it's kind of pulling you down and forward. So you have to kind of bring it around your head and back over. Under my chin, around my head, back up and over. And that's how you do a barbell press. Standing up really tall and straight. Don't over arch your back, so be careful for any of this. So it is a different feel than dumbbells. The same movement, up and down, but barbells offer a different feel. Hopefully the gyms have barbells that will accommodate this. And let's give that a try this week. All right. Next up, we have anti-rotation side steps. So I am using the cable machine. A band works great too. So depending on what your turf space has available. So arms are straight out in front, no bent elbows. So we're not going for any bend in the elbows at all. Lock them in straight. Hands are at chest height. So we want to avoid shrugged shoulders. So keep those shoulders down. We take 1, 2, maybe 3 steps out, and then control that same amount of steps back in. And the way back in is actually harder, believe it or not. It's hard because it has this, it's like a slingshot. It wants to pull you back in, or a boomerang or something, I don't know. It wants to pull you back in, so you have to resist that. So the way back in is harder. So the point here though is to stay perfectly your starting position, to try to keep that position as best you can the whole time. So what I mean by that is we're not like turning like this, shrugging, bending one elbow. We're not yanking when we're coming out. We're not allowing this side to come in. So none of that. The goal is to try to select the resistance level, whether it be a higher or lighter resistance band, heavier or lighter weight on the cable machine, that you can keep this position and just move nice and smooth. There'll be a little choppiness with the steps, but we're not turning the hips. It's really challenging. It's harder than it looks. Halfway through the 30-second mark, we will change sides. All you have to do is spin around. So it's pretty easy to change sides at the 15-second mark. So let's give this one a try. All right, last station is an incline hip bridge. So we have the butterfly hip bridge in our warm-up. So similar, hip bridge at least. But we're going to do it on an incline. So your heels are up here. We want the tip of the heel. So we're not going foot against the corner of the item. And we're not trying to put the flat of the foot. That doesn't really work well. So just like that. You want about a 90-degree bend in your knee to start. A lot of people start way too far back on this, like this. So your butt is pretty close to the thing to start, okay? Laying flat and lift as high as you can. Squeeze those glutes. Pause for a moment at the top. And you do come all the way down. Tap the floor at the bottom. Pause. All the way down. Pause. All the way down. This item that you're putting your feet on should not be moving. If it's moving, you're pushing forward on it. The goal is to use it to push down. So if you feel your feet pushing like this, change what you're doing. You shouldn't be pushing forward pressure. It shouldn't be going like this. Change what you're doing to be pushing your heels down into the floor. You should be able to do this on a slippery surface and it almost wouldn't slide because you're not pushing that way. You're pushing down. Okay, so keep that in mind. If the thing you're using is moving or if your feet are sliding on it, change the way you're doing it and push those heels more down. Anyone staying off the floor, normally I would have you do deadlifts. We already did the single leg deadlifts. So I think we're going to make the alternative movement a sumo squat because that does target more, sumos as opposed to regular squats target more of the back of the body, like the hamstrings and glutes. So, and that's what this exercise targets. So we'll switch to a sumo squat for anyone staying off of the floor so we can try to at least hit the same muscle focus. So that'll be your alternative movement for this one. Okay, the team builder. It's an oldie but a goodie. I throw it in a couple of times a year. We're going to do our foam roller, single leg, sword fight. Foam roller fight, foam fight, I don't know. So you need a partner for this. You're going to balance on one leg. You and your partner are going to be like this, facing each other. And you're going to do a little friendly fighting with remember the old, what was that show, American Gladiators? And they had to be on that balance beam. And they had those foam things. It's the same. We're just not on a balance beam. We're balancing on one leg. And we don't have a foam pit to fall into. So hopefully we're not hitting each other hard enough to fall. But yeah, it's just kind of however you can go low, you can go high, you can go from underneath. Don't hit each other, hit the foam rollers. But it's just great because balancing is hard, but then you add stimulus. You add, your eyes having to move around and being kind of bumped into from different directions and your arms moving. So this is a great challenge for overall balance. So we'll do 30 to 60 seconds on each leg. Yeah, this one's super fun. Have a great time with it. And that'll be our team builder for the week. All right, that is week 21. Hope you enjoy these exercises and the team builder and all this fun stuff. See you back next week for week 22.